Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. My VS Code is already locking up, so it's going to be a great stream today. Okay. We're working on a project called redyellowgreen. This is a quality assurance tool for social media content. Looks like the localhost server is spinning up, so let's go have a look at that. Here's the version that is deployed on Vercel. What we did last time is we basically deployed it on Vercel and hooked it up to a database. This time we're going to get into the application-specific details. Here is the GitHub page. Vanderveer/redyellowgreen. Open source. I got my ramen. I had a stack of Oreos. We're down to one left. I already ate most of the Oreos. And a couple bottles of water. So we are ready to go. Thanks for being here. If you're on TikTok, quick reminder that you'll be able to see the full screen on YouTube. Refresh the localhost. And these are notes. We don't need the notes. Here are the deployments on the Vercel dashboard. Last deployment is green. That's a great note. Adrian says, what are we doing? I just said that. We're working on redyellowgreen. That is this repository, which is a social quality platform enabling quality assurance and analysis for social content. Also, if you're on TikTok, the title should say details in YouTube description. So go over to YouTube and check the live stream that's ongoing now. There's going to be a playlist. So this is the second. This is like part 2. And YouTube is going to hold the playlist for the whole thing. So make sure that you follow over on YouTube so that you don't miss out. Okay. Dynamic server usage. I don't know what that's mad about. So let's go to repurpose. Repurpose is a major subroutine of the workflow here. So as a content creator, I am assuming that you're using repurpose for now. Obviously, all this stuff can change later. But you see how on repurpose, I have these rows. And basically, I post to TikTok, and then it goes to all these other places. So this is what we are going to leverage for the content of our tool. And let's get ChatGPT over here, because we're going to be basically debating whether we use one of 3 kinds of scraping. So today's focus is going to be data engineering and scraping largely. And there are 3 approaches that we can do. The traditional approach is using a web driver like Selenium. Of course, I wouldn't use Selenium, but that's kind of the classic one. I would be using Puppeteer or something like Puppeteer, basically. And use a web driver to navigate pages. And like it's like actually browsing the web and inspecting the DOM. So that's one approach. Another approach is maybe I can jack the network calls. And so I don't need to actually do any HTML parsing. Maybe I can just look at the network tab here and then find the right API to call and then just call it. So that'll be option 2. And then option 3 will be this new approach using ChatGPT, where we are still doing browsing, but I do not need to specifically parse the HTML. I can basically dump the HTML in ChatGPT and say, hey, you do the parsing, which saves time on things like it can easily produce a CSV. And so I don't need to do regular expressions or XPath or sort of these like figuring out how to parse it correctly. And it's also a little more robust because parsing-based scraping is fragile, because if repurpose.io decides to change the format of the page, I will have to change the technical details of how I'm parsing out values. But in LLM, I'm still going to be asking it to do the same thing. I'm going to say, hey, look at this page. And let me give you a specific example on the YouTube Reels. I'm going to say, hey, look at this page, ChatGPT. After it loads up, apparently it's going to take 50 years to load up. I'm going to say, hey, ChatGPT, look at this page. Each row, and I don't even need to say, let's just do this. Let's just see how this works. So I'll take the body tag, or maybe I want to be more restrictive and go for the page wrapper. So the more specific I get there is an efficiency fragility trade-off. So I don't want this, really I want the main container. So maybe, so what I could do is I could always go for the body tag, right? There's always going to be a body tag. Even if they refactor the web page, there's still going to be a body tag. So I could parse out the body tag and dump it in ChatGPT. The other thing I could do, but that takes a lot of tokens and a lot of tokens that are not value add, like the entire sidebar and navigation. The other thing I could do is I could be more specific, and I could go specifically for this element that's called the main container right here. And so as long as they refactor inside of the main container and they don't delete the main container itself, we're going to be robust to that. But if they change the main container, we're more fragile. Do you see how there's a trade-off? The more specific I get, the more fragile it is. Here, I could also target the page content ID, which is even more specific. And then it's just only a risk if they get rid of that thing. Should I assume that they have rows? Or like class table, episode list table, right? This is a class, not an ID. Episode table block. So I'm going to currently target this episode table block. And I'm willing to accept that risk today. So let's go over here and grab it. So I'm going to right click, edit as HTML. Actually, let me do it this way. I'm going to say document dot query selector, and I'm doing this, and then it will be an ID, so it's the £. And so we've queried this DOM element. You see it highlighted? Do you have a computer science degree? No, I do not. I have a PhD in economics. Adrian, thank you for the follow. 1993 Nissan Altima says cores, question mark. We'll cross the bridge when we get to it. Cores might eventually be a problem. At the moment, it's not. Okay. So I can, and then I can do inner. I can do inner text or inner HTML. I'm going to go for inner HTML. And so you kind of got to guess and check and test this stuff to see what the LLM is going to be able to parse. In my experience, it's been able to parse HTML. But we can understand how it would be harder for a language model to parse HTML compared to plain text, like it's meant to deal with plain text. So let me do a new chat. All right, chat OpenAI. I might need to log in again. Let's see. Ben says, this is nice of you. Thank you so much, Ben. I'm glad you're here. Adrian says, I got a degree on computer science and you don't need it for this. That's the truth. Tell him, Adrian. Hey, I'm glad to see y'all here. Please follow the page. Also, if you go to YouTube, link in my bio, you can see the full screen. And I'm going to be saving the playlist on YouTube. So we'll start with GPT 3.5. If this works, GPT 4 is going to be even better. And so I'm going to ask it, please create, and the prompt is sensitive here, right? I need to ask it the right thing. So let me give it some context, and I will say, the following HTML fragment contains rows of how can I describe one of these rows? So here's a TR. I want it to understand these rows. And I can see that the value that I eventually care to extract is from TikTok.com. And then I'm going to want to pair that with the associated YouTube video. Associated YouTube video. I think that's the right phrase. Here's an eye icon, and there's the YouTube video. Okay. I can maybe call out the eye icon later if needed, but for now I'm not going to. The following HTML fragment contains rows of TikTok video URLs, TikTok video URLs that are associated to a YouTube URL. Please create a CSV with the And now I need to specify the attributes that I want. I want the TikTok video ID. I'll just go for the URL. Please create a CSV with the following information for each row. TikTok URL, YouTube URL, and what should we call this thing right here? I'm going to use the class name. Even though this is a fragile pattern, I want to give the LLM very specific context on what I'm looking for. And it should be able to figure out that that's what that is. Okay, so let's see if this works. 1, 2, 3. Now the reason that I'm not, even though this is cool and it's like, hey, we're doing LLM stuff, the reason that I'm not necessarily stoked about this, yeah, it's too long. Okay, how much can I get? So that's part of the problem, is that there are too many tokens. The other reason I'm not stoked about it is I would like to eventually be able to connect this to the number of likes on YouTube and TikTok. And so I actually have to click into the video to get to that information, right? So if I'm going to have to do some logical parsing anyway, just to pare down the amount of information, yeah, really this becomes a case where the LLM pattern is not looking so good. Adrian says, I've been using AI in my 9-to-5 job. It's mind-blowing how it's changing my day-to-day. Totally agree. Totally agree. Okay, so it doesn't look like we're going to use an LLM this way. We may use it a different way. We'll cross that bridge later. So for now, I'm going to use either a DOM parsing approach or the network call approach. So let's see if I can identify the associated network call. Basically, it's going to depend if the information is publicly accessible. It's going to be the answer here. If it just comes in as a pre-compiled HTML fragment, then the HTML is the API. And I'll be forced into DOM parsing. Okay, input dest YouTube, get input destination details. Okay. List surveys fails out. GraphQL. Okay, so they're using GraphQL. This is some authentication data. Yeah, so here's an API. Edges, cursor, 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 node name. No, this is not what I'm looking for. This is like announcements. Yeah, announcements. Okay. Collect. So we want a different API call. Here is still announcements. Wow, they're doing a lot of duplicate calls in this. Or is it because I have the, no, my preserve log is not on. They're like doing all of these calls. Notland says, were you trying to create a CSV of links from the TikTok webpage HTML? Yep, that's what we're doing. That's what we are doing. So these actually could be the data, believe it or not, if they are just base64 encoded. And I'm not sure. Generate log events. None of these are really obviously what I'm looking for. User email. So this is looking at the XHR. So I'm not seeing what I want in the XHR. So let me look under all and let me look for the HTML document basically. So here's the document. And if we look in the document body, the response, preview, response, it doesn't matter. We can look in either one. We see it appears to be precompiled basically. Here, let me pull this out to make this easier to see. So for example, some of the text on the left over here, we'll be looking for the substring CS degrees definitely add value. Control C, now I've got that on my clipboard, right? So we're gonna go over to network. I'm gonna click into this. This is just the document. How did I know that it's document? By type. So the page in front of us gets one document. You can find all tags with the href property. Yes, thanks, Notlin. I know that. So I described 3 approaches, and what you're talking about is DOM parsing, and so I'm trying to avoid that because DOM parsing is fragile, but it's looking more and more like we need to do that. So I was trying to get an API network call instead of DOM parsing if possible, but it looks like it's pre-compiled, and we can confirm that. So I can Control F, Control V, and we can see that the string is already literally in the body. So it's not as if there is some client-side logic to populate these values with a network call. In their defense, this is like a really good practice because it means that they are shipping a fast website. Like they're doing the work on the server side and the client just has to show it. So this is not a knock against them, but it does make my life a little more difficult because now I have to do DOM parsing. Cool, so let's do that. And so we're going to do this, so the question becomes how. There are a few ways. I could use a WebDriver like I talked about, like Puppeteer. I could also possibly use something like Beautiful Soup where the process, whether it's a Python process or a Node process, makes a request. What is this 1392229? That's what I'm wondering about. Maybe that's my user ID. So let me hold on to this. I'm gonna just, I don't know, put it right here. Use Stack Overflow. That would not be a big help. Bill Clinton Lover 911 says, what are you trying to do? We are getting a spreadsheet of the data. It could be a JSON file actually, but anyway, I'm gonna go for a spreadsheet at first of all this data. So these are my TikTok videos and they are repurposed over to YouTube. So the same TikTok video is also deployed to YouTube. And what I want to do is I want to collect the IDs and collect their performance. So I can say like, hey, this video is doing this well on TikTok and it's doing this well on YouTube. Cool, yeah, Notlin has the Beautiful Soup approach right there. Yeah, so let's try that. If I can avoid spinning up a driver, it will likely be faster. My concern is, am I going to get rate limited on Beautiful Soup? Let's give it a try. So we'll treat this as a monorepo. We're going to use a monorepo pattern. So we have a Blitz application right here. I could do this a couple ways. One is I could create a subfolder called red, yellow, green and cram all of this in that subfolder. What's Blitz app? It's a web application. So Blitz is a framework. It's a wrapper around Next.js, blitzjs.com. And it helps you build web applications. So in the future, we're going to have all this data. And like, what are we going to do with the data? We're going to put it into a interactable GUI where I can see like a dashboard of quality report and people can go add comments. Like you would be able to go look at my TikTok video and add a comment and vote. Riz Grimes says, are you using C++? No, I'm not. Console log Kirito. Yo, that is a nice username. Console log Kirito, let's go. Let's go. Um, what's your thoughts on the future for web development in terms of AI? It's beautiful. Thank you for all the follows. Shout out to Amiro at Ale. Is your name Ale? Okwale. And then also thanks for the likes, Amiro. Hey, if you're on TikTok, quick reminder, you can see the full screen if you go over to YouTube. Next is React, Prisma is Node. Actually, Next is also using Node. Yeah, it's all using Node. Okay. Are you using ChatGPT? We tried it. There were too many tokens. It couldn't understand. There were too many tokens. Okay, so I'm just going to create a sibling folder. So this is a bit messy from a monorepo architecture point of view. But this is going to be repurpose scraper. Okay, so we'll just throw it in here. And in the future, I could push this all down into a subfolder. I really want to do it right now because it just looks too messy. All right, let's do it right now. Red, yellow, green is going to, I'm not going to do it. Sorry, y'all. It's just going to be this weird folder. Let me note it in the README. Architecture, believe it or not, this is a mono repo. The root folder is a Blitz project. As long as it's in the README, we're good, right? This will be repurpose. Is a Python scraper that provides seeds for the Blitz project. So the scraping is really just a seed process. You could call it an ETL if you want. It's like a special ETL. So this is data engineering, y'all. If you we're literally doing data engineering and web development in the same project. So buckle up, baby. Albert says, what you do for now? I am going to work on this scraper, and I have decided that I'm going to put it in this little folder right here. So I'll just make it main.py. I'll also need to, so let me kill the server. It's going to take 9 years because I'm on this crummy old Windows machine. I'll throw the terminal away. New terminal. Red, yellow, green. Thank you for the follows, Akeem and Proster. So here we're in yellow, green. Jeez, my dyslexic brain. Red, yellow, green. I'm going to CD repurpose. I can REP tab and it'll finish the sentence for me. And here I will poetry and knit. So I'm going to create my scraper as a poetry project. Those are some nicely formatted env files. You know what? I love you. I love you, Notlin. Are you single? I'm just kidding. Nana says, is it Python? Yeah, we're actually mixing Python and TypeScript because we don't give a shit up in here, apparently. Description is extract social CSV from repurpose.io. This is repurpose.io, right? Let me just make, yeah. Okay. Got the author in there. What? Bro, tell me how that's malformatted. It must follow this format. Isn't that, oh, are you literally mad that I didn't have a space after my last name? John Vanderveer. Is scraping generally acceptable? I don't know. LinkedIn gets pissed off if you log in and scrape them. So repurpose.io, by the way, here's the thing. Here's why I have no issue scraping them. I talked to their customer service and I said, hey, is there a feature where I can download my own CSV? And they said that feature doesn't currently exist. We will create a feature request ticket for you and we'll prioritize it if it gets more support. So they are already planning on doing this, and I would totally use their thing if it existed. They just haven't built it yet. So that's why I have no problem doing this, because I think they're going to build it anyway. Yeah, but until then, Console Log Kirito says, I wish you were my mentor. Your coding skills are majestic. That is a very kind thing of you to say. Hey, check out my bio. You can book a consultation with me. Omar says, what are you doing? Currently, we are building a scraper. By the way, Omar, my YouTube video says details are in the YouTube video description. So go over to YouTube, and your question would be answered, and I wouldn't have to get off track to answer it. But here's the repository. Red, yellow, green. Open source as usual. It's a social quality platform. So I make a TikTok video, and then I send it over to YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and some other places. And I want a single place, a single pane of glass, we often say in business, where it's a dashboard that I can see, how does this video right here, where my cursor is, yes, CS degree, definitely add value. How does this video perform on TikTok compared to YouTube, compared to Instagram? And I can do data analysis, which says what videos are red, yellow, and green. And what that means is a green video does well everywhere. Like, people eat this up. People love this. A yellow video goes viral on 1 or 2 platforms, but it's inconsistent. It's not viral everywhere. And then a red video just does bad everywhere. Why are we doing this? Going back to the master plan, AI-driven master plan, our new AI overlords, Latterly 2.0, the major announcement. We are cleaning input data into an AI consumer. We are cleaning input data into an AI consumer. I need red, yellow, green so that I make sure that the training data that I provide to my AI is high quality, green only. Green or GTFO. Felt? Take the Leap says, what language should I learn first? The answer is JavaScript. I would, yeah, the answer is JavaScript. Latterly.io, and you can learn to code for free. Hawksfan says, that's a cool idea. Thank you so much. Thanks, Hawksfan. I'm glad you're here. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, please like it and share it, and follow all the pages, and that way we can spread this information out there and improve social media content and also improve programming education. Would you like to define your main dependencies interactively? The answer is no. Would you like to define dev dependencies? No. Do you confirm? Yes. Okay. So it created the PyProject TOML, which means the Poetry project has been initialized. I'm going to open a second terminal here. First language is Cobalt. Oh, Hawks fan. I almost liked you, but The problem is when you have hundreds of people watching, if you crack a joke like that, someone's going to take it seriously. And then they're going to come back months later and be like, this guy told me to learn Cobalt, and now my life is hell. That was a joke, everyone. Please don't learn Cobalt. How often do you live code? Probably 3 times a week. Why is JavaScript a better first language than Python? That is a long and complicated answer, and that could be its own stream. Wendy's here. Hey, Wendy. Good to see you. The short answer is that Python is great for data analysis, and data analysis is not programming. That's the short answer. If you say, hey, John, I don't give a crap about building websites or mobile apps or backend, basically, I specifically want to do data analysis, then yeah, go learn Python for sure. For sure. But there's just a lot more JavaScript, TypeScript. There's a lot of answers. Okay, you know what? Go to my bio, because I answer all this stuff. I'm going to show y'all how to go to my bio. TikTok. So you see right here, this is my bio, and you can click the link. And if you click that link, it'll take you to this place where you can go to latterly.io. Okay? And Latterly will teach you how to code. And the first learning module is Why Learn React. It is the first learning module in the curriculum. So introduction, understanding the master plan. Why React? And there's a lot of answers. Why React? Fully Charged says C++ is the best. Get wrecked, C++. C++ is among the worst beginner languages. Now, it's a great language. It's just not a great beginner language. Dante says, I love C++, but it's horrible for something like web dev. All right, now we're just getting into the language wars. This is not productive. Hey, if you're serious about learning to code, start with JavaScript, and there's a lot of reasons why. I've shown you the links where you can find out more, and you can always check my bio. Let's go back to building stuff. Thank you for the follows. That is Rock Drew. Thanks, Rock Drew. Glad you're here. Quick reminder, if you are one of the many people on TikTok, you can go over to YouTube and see the full screen. What's your opinion about Java? It's great. It's just not the best beginner language. There's a lot of good reasons to learn Java. It's just not the best beginner language. Okay. So we have main.py, we have PyProject.toml. What I want now is I want beautiful soup, basically. Is it add? Poetry add, B-A-U. How do you spell beautiful? Did I spell that right? This should update my PyProject to TOML. Could not find a matching version of the package Beautiful Soup. Let me go over to Google. Beautiful Soup Poetry. And I don't know if they just like left the dash out or if it's an underscore. I'm going to specifically look for Beautiful Soup pip. Beautiful Soup pip. Oh, okay. Beautiful Soup 4, it says. And let's make sure this is the right one by checking the GitHub. Is Cheerio for Node any good? Yes, Cheerio is very cool. We love Cheerio. Maybe I should use Cheerio right now. Oh, man. Oh, no. Whatever. If it works, it works. But Cheerio is great. Okay. Pip install Beautiful Soup 4. Okay, so I left off the 4. That's the issue. Poetry add. Well, and I put a dash in there when it doesn't want a dash. B-E-A-Beautiful. Jim Carrey is how I remember. That is hilarious. Fully Charged says C++ is how I remember. Oh, man. The trolls are fun, aren't they? It is funny. It is funny. The problem is like if I agree, someone's going to get confused and think that I actually recommend C++, which I don't. I have a question for everyone here. When you code and get stuck, where do you go to get answers? Google, Stack Overflow, the official documentation, ChatGPT, and your social network. Wow, I should make a TikTok out of that. Top 5 places to go when you're not sure. What did I just say? Because that was really smart. Google, Stack Overflow, ChatGPT, and your social network, right? And the official documentation. Yeah, absolutely. Discord server helps a lot. Totally agree. Thank you for all the follows. Kjon, Magnetics. Janaid says, yes, make a video. Can one of y'all do me a favor and like comment on one of my videos with the question so I can remember to answer it? That's a good question. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, so we added Beautiful Soup. And yeah, let me go over to ChatGPT. Here, I'm going to use 4 because 4 is smarter and I ain't got time to deal with the dumb version. I want to scrape a web page in HTML. Let me grab the targets. Okay. So here's 1 link, 2 links. I want to target this element, right? This is the a.mr5. I can't target it that way. Dynamic tooltip. This is so fragile. I really hate it. Oh, you know what I can do? I can target by if it has TikTok substring in the href. That would be less fragile. So we have a table, tbody tr. So I want to target each tr. Okay. I would like to, please write a Python script using beautiful soup 4, which when run as main writes a CSV file called social data.csv. This script should scrape the web page at it. Like, I'm gonna have to update it, but we'll start with this. Should scrape the, let me do this. Should scrape the web page declared by an environment variable, whatever, declared at, we'll just go with this. The scraping approach should collect all of the URLs. The scraping approach should target tr and collect the URLs within each tr. I think that's a good enough start. We'll start with that. Can you please center your camera? I mean, no, that's why I keep telling y'all to go to YouTube, because moving the phone all over the place is like a real pain, to be honest with you. I'm trying to focus on coding. So I kind of try to point the camera at whatever I'm doing currently, which is not always on the middle of the screen. But again, if you go over to the YouTube link in my bio, you can see the full screen. Notlin says, true, true. ChatGPT does better if you say please. Does it really, or is that a joke? Drop a link if you've got a link on there. Does ChatGPT do better if you say please? It's a joke. Okay. Sometimes I can't tell. Thanks for the follows, y'all. Okay, so here is a good starter script. So let me copy this. Let me scan it to see if there's anything goofy about it. It will write the CSV. Great. Structure might change over time. I know. I tried to resist it. Social data, it's the right CSV. Write to CSV. Main, scrape, and write. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Well done. You can run the script as a main program. Cool. You triggered formatting with AutoPep 8. Would you like to install one of our new formatter extension? Yeah, I guess. Why not? Let's install black. Sure. So maybe I can screw this up on purpose to see if it runs black. How can I screw this up? Yeah, if I run black, it should dedent where my cursor is. So let me format. It's configured as formatter, but it cannot format Python files. Haha, bruh. You're telling me black cannot format Python files? Are you okay? Let me go over Control-Shift-P, settings, preferences, user JSON, Control-F, black. It's not here, so I'm not going to look in my user JSON, Control-Shift-P, settings. Where else would it be? It's one of these settings, JSON. There's the user, there's the workspace. Workspace settings, JSON, Control F, black. Okay, so here is the Python default formatter, black formatter. Abso-doggone-lutely, format on save, format on save. Where are you deciding to format on save, homie? Control-Shift-P, user settings, format on type. No, I do not want format on type. Ew. I want format on save. Okay, so we got format on save coming from over here. It's mixing my user settings with my project settings, which is, I guess, like, that's fine. That's fine, right? I would rather it be in one place, though. But my user settings are triggering the format on save. And it's my workspace settings that are saying use black. That's okay. Okay, so I save it here, enter, Control S, and it dedented it. Okay, so black is working. What if I format right now? That doesn't work. What if I format forced? That's so weird. So the format command is not working, but the format on save is working. I don't care, as long as it works. Georgie says, this is why I like JetBrains. Oh man, I don't have time to go over the number of reasons I don't like JetBrains. Okay. This is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good. Another reason that I would like to do this with Cheerio or in JavaScript instead of Beautiful Soup is that I could grab the extractor function and drop it in my console in Chrome, which I cannot do with Python. So let's just run it, main. I'm going to go poetry, run, main. No module name request. Poetry, add requests. Cool. Poetry, run, main. And there you go. It dropped to CSV. Okay. And wow, this is a bogus CSV. So it just says URL. I'm going to click my main file, right click, close others. Control click, write to CSV. Here we open the social data and it says write row URL. So it's just writing URL. For URL and URLs came from here. URLs came from here. Okay, so we find all TR. That is doing the right thing. Find all A. Notlin dropped a whole thing in here. 4-letter. Oh no way, dude! You're parsing it way too hard, man. That's. I know that like parsing in general is fragile, but that's like uber fragile. I just broke Twitch chat. Yes, but even the part that you didn't break it that I can read, it's just uber fragile. You're like splitting on index 1.1 of href. Like, no, I can just extract the href value. That's a lot better, like this, the get. Okay, so I'm going to breakpoint right here. I actually suspect that the response itself might be the issue. So let me also breakpoint right here. Reach character limit. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we are here, and let me hit the response. Response is 200. Response dot what would it be? HTML. Response dot value. Response dot is it string? Is it the string representation response? Bro, come on. How do I get the response out of the response? Let me go ahead and type it here. Response. Hover my mouse, quick fix, and grab from requests import response. Okay. Response.text. Thank you. Okay, so here is the HTML. Now we're going to get the soup. Response.content. Oh, are they the same thing? Response.content is equal to response.text. False. That's interesting. Ew, they have jQuery. Ew, gross, gross. I could inject their jQuery and tear it out that way. What's the difference between response.text and response.content? Thank you for the follows. We got Rockstar, we got George Abocha, we got Toyota Talk. Omar says, I'm Latin American. I'd like to apply for a job in the USA. How many Latin Americans do you know in your job? Hey, so what do you mean by Latin American? Like, what country are you from? Because I work with a lot of Latin Americans, but they're still they're still Americans. They're still American citizens. So if you're asking like a visa immigration question, that's a really hard problem. I'm sorry. It really sucks, and I really can't help you too much. Although I'll try if you reach out. But I've had a bunch of people I've tried to help, and like I'm not good with like the legal stuff. It just kind of, the whole immigration system kind of pisses me off. But I will say, if you're already a citizen, or if you already have green card, or if you already have approved work visa, yeah, I work with a lot of Hispanics, whether they're Latin American or not. Latinos that are just not even American, right? Or they're not even Latino. They could just like actually be from Spain or something. Let me, if I can actually get a percentage in my head real quick. Give me a second. Within my org, I don't know, 10%? 10%-ish? Sounds about right. I mean, I don't know. This is not exact math, but about 10%. I will say, though, the company that I'm working for currently is not like representative of the industry norm, right? Like some companies it's harder, some companies it's easier. Ali, one time, Huko, Renee, thank you for all the follows. Hey, quick reminder, if you go to the link in my bio, you can go to YouTube and see the full screen. Okay, the link detection regex is what busted it. Hero's effort, Notlin. That was a hero's effort. Oh, content returns the body as bytes. Look, GPT coming in clutch. We love GPT. Why is it purple now? Why is it purple now? Whatever. I don't care. So I should prefer text, just like our friend Notlin says. Okay, so we get down here and we have the soup. And then let's try to find all TR. So I have 0 TR, so this is where I'm failing. Okay. Here is the soup. I can remove all the scripts. Soup dot is it Python? Yes, we are using Python right now. John Louie followed. Thanks, John Louie. Darius Korea. Cool, cool. Thank you. Korea in the house. Sasabe. Sasabe. The thing is, like, depending on the language, that could be different things, right? For me, I usually think of English or Spanish. That's pretty much all I got. Beautiful. The code above. Oh, decompose, bro. Yo, I would not have guessed that. I would have had to go through the tree and parse them out. So I'm glad that this works. So let's try this. Unexpected indent block. Okay, I'm going to exit and start over. Exit the little Python thingamajiggy. And let's start over. So we know that the problem is here. We've identified it through debugging. By the way, what we're doing is called debugging. When I drop the breakpoint in here, that is a debugger. The breakpoint method is a debugging method, a debugging function. Okay, so let's define our expectation before I run the thing. And what I want to do is I want to see that there are not script tags in my soup. I want to see that there are not script tags in my soup at the breakpoint. Cool. So good news and bad news, right? The good news is the scripts are gone. The bad news is it looks like I'm not seeing my HTML either. I'm not seeing my HTML either. Am I? Is it just sort of, well, here's some HTML. Sign up. Email login, Jane Doe. So that's a placeholder, right? So this could be a case of progressive enhancement, that they are running a progressive enhancement. Sign in, try for free today. Continue with Google. Oh, okay. Yeah, Beautiful Soup is not logged in. That's the issue. What is he making? We are making a scraper. Is this ChatGPT? No, it's not. Cool. And then we can also rip out the links as well. Or I guess let's do it in alphabetical order. Okay, so we're ripping out the scripts and links. That's good. That's going to reduce the things that we have to search through to parse. But what I want to do is log in my response client. So I'll make a .env over here. And here we'll do username, password. I genuinely don't know my own password because I always log in with Google. I'm going to paste it and also make a template file. So the real env does not get committed to GitHub, but the env.template should, so that other people who clone my repository know what to put in here. So let me take this off screen so I can check my password. Da-da-da-da-da. Password, right under settings. Old password, I don't know. What is my old password? Okay, let me log it. Like, I don't know. Let me log out and see if okay, forgot my password. Yes, I did. Cool, so we'll do a little password reset over here. How do you deal with proxies using BS4? We might not. We might not deal with proxies. I might have to pivot. You going to use Selenium? No, I would die first. We might use Puppeteer though. Hey John, I have a software engineering internship next month. I have no idea how to code. How do I prepare for this? you practice coding is the answer, but it's going to depend on the details of your internship. Like, what are they looking for? Hey, check the link in my bio, book a one-on-one consult. Like, it depends where you're interviewing, what they're asking you, the role, stuff like that. I don't want to give like overly generic advice, and then it just wouldn't be helpful. But the generic advice is that you would practice coding. Okay. So I got this temporary password for reset purposes. Let me archive that. Going over here, we're signing back in. Pretty good user experience repurpose. Kudos on that. Pretty good user experience for password reset. Go to my profile. This is off screen on purpose, by the way, but I'm kind of like explaining you through the things that I'm doing. Drop in the temporary password. For new password, I'm asking Chrome to suggest a strong password. Control C, submit, succeeded. Okay, so we succeeded, so let me close that. I'm actually going to sign out and sign back in just so I can verify that it works before giving Beautiful Soup those credentials. So I'm going to log out. Log back in, and it worked. Cool. So I'll close this tab. So I now have the credentials that let me log in. And so let me put them in my environment file here. Unfortunately, you fine people do not get to see that. Now I'll save that and close it. I'll open up the template just so I can, and bring it back on screen now. So all I did is I just like filled these out basically. Like that's it. Okay, cool. So I have no idea if I should jump into web dev JS or maybe Java and CS fundamentals. Yeah, again, please book a one-on-one call with me. There's over 100 people in this conversation, and I don't want to turn this into very specific to you and then just be wasting everyone else's time, right? Grab a drink of this water. By the way, y'all can go over to YouTube, link in my bio, and see the full screen. And there's also going to be a playlist. So this is part 2 of a series where I'm building this application. The entire playlist will be stored on YouTube. Okay, that's some good water. Y'all see that movie Waterboy? Let me commit where I'm at. So where are we at so far? I'll do, oh, yeah, VS Code settings right here, just auto run off. So I'll do a chore for format Python. Commit that. I'll do a docs for declare monorepo. Commit that. And I will stage all of these under feet init scraper. Commit that. So 3 little commits, break it up. I could have broken it up more if I wanted to, but I could have split out the Python code as a feature from the other stuff as a chore, but I don't think the ROI is there to give a damn. Okay, that's an underrated analysis, right? Is the ROI of giving a damn. People don't talk about that enough. Like sometimes it just doesn't matter, you know? Okay, so this is what I need to do. I need to authenticate my client. Let me go over to GPT. Again, this is something I could figure out after a little bit of time, but GPT can probably do this faster. So it's not replacing my job, it's helping me. I need to authenticate my my requests client using Um, actually, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure how to authenticate it. So let me go to repurpose.io, and I want to log in. And I want to go, where was I? TikTok to YouTube is the one we were working on. Use BART. What is BART? Say more. I'm not familiar. Is that Python? Is that, give me the language at least. I'm open to it if that's a good idea. So I'm going to look at this network tab and see, are the authentication headers on the request here itself? Or, like, how is authentication being propagated? That's my question. Because I can say, hey, ChatGPT, I need to authenticate my my requesting agent here, and it's going to be like, how? And I'll be like, oh, that's a good question, man. So we have XSRF cookie. So we might do this. The traditional would be a bearer token, if it works with a bearer token. I'm not seeing any bearer tokens. So we do the URL, right? So here's the security policy, gzip encoding. I don't like, that's fine. It looks like we're doing cookie-based authentication. Laravel session. Yo, this is built with Laravel? That's wild. They did this whole thing with Laravel. It's called Bard, not BART. Oh no, Bard is awful. I don't want to use Bard. GPT is way better. Thanks though. Okay, so here's my Laravel session. It looks like we're doing cookie-based authentication with Laravel. Is this base 64? Let me check if this is base 64. Why does it say OpenAI right there? What are they doing? Hey, repurpose, what are you guys doing over there? B2A, A to B. Ah, look at that. It is base 64 encoded. What is it? What does it say? A to B. Now I'm just curious. Failed to execute A to B. Okay. It's doubly obfuscated. IV. I guess this is basically an ID that the server is using. Oh, it says MAC, so it's telling them the MAC address. It looks like it's doubly encoded. A to B. Here's the value. Let me doubly decode the value. A to B. That failed. Okay, B to A. No way. There is no way this thing is triply encoded. A to R, B to A. No, something else is going on here. That's okay. Good. Whatever they're doing, it's not easy to sort of just easily deserialize, so that's good. It's a JWT. Yes, that's right. It's a JWT. I thought I could just base 64 decode the value of a JWT. Could I not? Okay, JWT decode. JWT.io. Okay. Right, so this is the decode, but it's like, it's doubly, you see what I mean? It's like doubly encoded. Using outdated version of jQuery. Not sure what you mean. Yeah, see, it's doubly encoded. So that's a good thing, because it looks like they have some kind of secret that I need to to decode. So that's a good thing. Why are you a proponent of the University of the People? Because you can get a degree for free over there. It's a really bad school. Yeah, I mean, the degree is free, so it's not like Harvard. Are you saying that it's a bad return on investment? I'd love to see the data. Yeah, I'm not like arguing that it's an above average school. I'm arguing that it's better than not going to college. It's not accredited. That's news to me. Hold on. University of the People accredited. Did they lose their accreditation? Is recognized by the DEAC as an accredited online university. Hey, Maxie, what are you talking about? It's not accredited. Look at the screen. Did you really just come over here to hate on a free school? Aren't they a nonprofit? Did you really just come over here to hate on a nonprofit? Do some research, buddy. It is accredited. I mean, you can talk crap about their teachers, but like every university has people that talk crap about their teachers. Are you being paid or something by them? No, dude. You're so dumb. They are literally a nonprofit. Like, how would they even afford to pay me? Like, okay. Let's get back on track, y'all. Oh, man. Wow. Imagine, like, you really can't make anyone happy, can you? A free college degree and a nonprofit, and there's still haters out here. Dude, are you being paid is the real question. Why are you doing this? Okay. So I don't think that it can log in that way. I think I need Beautiful Soup to like fill out the login form, basically. Yeah, maybe I do need a WebDriver after all, actually. So we're going to request to this website, and then I need to fill in a form and send it again. Yeah, I need a WebDriver for this. Okay. Puppeteer Python. Playwright Python. Please rewrite the script using Playwright's Python library, because I need to actually log in to the repurpose.io website. I might want to drop Python, honestly. I understand you need to log into the website before scraping. To handle such scenarios, you would need a more powerful tool than Beautiful Soup. Playwright for Python. Yep, here we go. There's Chromium. We love Chromium. Hi, what are you doing? We're building a scraper. What about CAPTCHA? Yeah, if there's a CAPTCHA, we might be screwed. There's other ways we can handle this. I can log in manually, and then I can have the bot take over from there, basically. So I'm going to Control A, Control V. Eval on selector all. I really want to look array from. So we're embedding JavaScript inside of TypeScript. This is not going to fly, y'all. It is time to drop the Python scraper. It's time to drop the Python scraper. So we're going to do a node scraper instead. Okay. The cool thing is that GPT is so flexible on this. Actually, I want to use Puppeteer in Node.js for the same purpose. If you were like a product owner, and you're like telling your software engineers, never mind, redo it in JavaScript, they will be so pissed at you, right? But ChatGPT is just like, oh, okay, here you go. Awesome. Okay, so I am control clicking these elements, right click delete. We're going to maintain the repurpose scraper folder, but it is going to be JavaScript is going to be JavaScript. And I think I can just call this thing main.js, npm install CSV writer. Okay. npm init. I want to yarn init. Repurpose scraper. Scrapes CSV social and data from repurpose.io. Entry point. Sure, index works. MIT. Cool. So now we have this package JSON file instead of the poetry file. Is it free? What are you referring to when you say it? This is all open source. Red, yellow, green. Check the GitHub in my bio, and this is all open source. Quick reminder: if you're on TikTok, you can go over to YouTube or Twitch and see the full screen. Okay, so now I need to create the index.js. Again, notice that ChatGPT is not replacing my job, it's helping me, right? Control V, Control S, got the auto format, that's a good sign. Here I want to yarn add CSV-writer. And then it looks like FS is not used. I'm going to say, why is FS imported? My apologies for the confusion. Cool. And now it's going on to explain like what FS does, but I actually already know. I said, why is FS imported as sort of like a a polite way to tell it that like it didn't need to do that. Okay, let's run this. Package JSON. I'll give it a start script. I'll give it a start script. Wow, and that was Copilot that just did that. I don't know if you saw that. Okay, so now I want to yarn start. Module not found. Okay, I need to actually install. Yarn start. Cannot find Puppeteer. Yarn add Puppeteer. That's one of those words that I'm always nervous about misspelling, because if you install the wrong package, you can get injected, right? Thank you for all the follows. Wow, I can't even keep up. Hirohito, Stuart, Y, Baron, Nacho, T, Brandon, Tai. Why don't you use OBS to stream your screen? Yeah, TikTok does not give me OBS stream keys. So I'm streaming. I am using OBS to stream over to Twitch and YouTube, but TikTok will not let me do that. Like specifically my account, they won't let me. And I'm really not sure why, to be honest with you. Okay, cool. So installation succeeded. So let's try and run it now. Puppeteer old headless deprecation warning. In the near future, headless true will default. What just happened? For Chrome instead of the old headless implementation. Consider opting in early by passing headless new. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's do it. To puppeteer.launch, okay? Puppeteer.launch, and we are passing headless new to puppeteer.launch. You have a Twitch. Yep, link in my bio. What language is this? JavaScript. Dante is correct. Thanks, Dante. Thanks for the assist. Okay, so what are we mad about? We're mad about the Puppeteer utility assertion line 28, throw new error message. That was really constructive, wasn't it? Thanks, bro. Isolated world. Isolated world. Yo, fuck this log message, dude. This is not helpful. Oh, okay, hold on. I take everything back. It's just another case of me being an idiot. No element found for input selector. Good, very good. So here, we need to find out the correct knob targets, form targets. So here we want button. We want this sign in button. Is there another one that has a data action submit? Do you have a data action submit? Looks like there is only one element with a data action submit. Let's confirm that. So I'm going over here to the console. What about Python Beautiful Soup code? We just stopped using Beautiful Soup because it doesn't have a persistent stateful client that you can authenticate. That's the issue. And so, yeah, that's the issue basically. So you actually need a web driver for that to be able to log into a UI form, because it's using this repurpose.io is using Laravel sessions. So they're going to create an encrypted JWT that's stored on the stateful client. That Beautiful Soup can't support that basically. Okay. What I want to do is document.querySelector all, and I'm hoping to only find one response. And I want to find data action. How do I do this? Equals submit. I actually don't know how to code, y'all. I've actually been lying to you this entire time. Let's see, is it like that? How do I query the DOM for an element with attribute data selector, and that takes a value of data action submit. That takes a value of submit. Data action. Data action, la 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 la. Come on, man. Real coders don't use ChatGPT. We use Stack Overflow. Oh, sorry. That is the syntax I'm looking for. Thank you. Got him. Okay, so let's come back over here. Oh, just because I put equals twice instead of once, that's the whole issue? I actually feel pretty good about that. That was the whole issue. Okay, and so we can see that if I get all of them on the page, there's only one. Always a fan of a tech guru. Thank you so much, GWT. That's very kind of you to say. Okay, so we have this node list, and let's grab the first one. Now, is this isomorphic to calling query selector as such? Yes, it is. So let's just prefer that. I don't money to buy a cup of coffee or a bottle of wine. How can I save some inspect element edits I have made on my browser? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh, I think you would actually just, hey, I think you would right click over here and like edit, but you would just literally copy it. So you can edit as HTML and then literally copy it and save it to a physical file. That's how you would do that. What language are you using? That's JavaScript right there in the browser. JavaScript is so there's only one language that browsers actually speak, and that is JavaScript. Is this a real page? My repurpose.io/login. Wow, that's a real page. Check that out. Okay, so we log in, and this is the element that we want it to click. So it was pretty close, right? Instead of type submit, it's data action submit, and we can specify the button as well. New Life, thanks for the follow. Thanks for sharing as well. That really helps, y'all. Thank you so much. Quick reminder, you can check my bio, go over to the YouTube, follow the YouTube, and see the whole stream, and also see the playlist. I'll be building a playlist. Okay, so I am going to give an update right here, commit, so that basically, if you're about to fight the boss, you save before you go fight the boss, right? So when the boss kills you, you can respawn. That's what I'm doing here, but I'm doing it with code, and we call that git. So the feat is convert scraper. I'm going to leave out the word convert. I'm just going to say scraper to Node.js. Push that, okay? Now, I'm going to grab what GPT gave me over here when it removed the FS import, Control A, Control V, Control S. We're going to look at the diff. Okay, at the top, I see the, and we're going to resolve conflicts, basically. So at the top, I see they removed FS. That's good. They dropped new. That's bad. They added a comment, I don't need it, goofed up the button. So really the only substantive change that I need to take is removing FS. So I'm actually going to Control Z. Control S, and I should see no diff. I should see no diff. Nope, that's not what I want to see. Should see no diff. The file should straight up go away. Okay, well, the file did not go away, but there's still no diff. That works for me. And then I'll just manually delete FS. Click that, right click, close others. Bro making more work for himself using ChatGPT. Not at all. By the way, you can set up VS Code to commit and push instead of just committing. Yeah, I know you can, and I hate doing that. I always like to separate those out personally. Okay. Right, like some of these comments I really don't need. Wait for navigation to complete. That's fine. Actually, those are good. Those are good comments, so I'll leave those. What I want to do now is fix the input selectors. Okay, so this input selector is the login email. Input, and we'll go by ID instead of name. And we'll say login email. Or before I do this, sorry, before I do this, no, I can do that. The order doesn't matter. I want GPT to update this to use an environment variable right there. Here, the password ID. Rahul says a website I see. That's right. This is a website, repurpose.io in particular. And so this will be login password, Control S. So I'm going to Control A, Control X, Control Z. That's the real pro combo. Control A, Control X, Control Z. You get visual feedback that the DOM was snapped away and you know for sure that you copied. Where Control C, you don't get the visual feedback and sometimes you actually didn't copy at all. So I'm going to wipe context for GPT. I'm going to wipe it. Who would win, Superman or the Flash? But Goku would destroy them both, right? Ultimately determining who would destroy whom in a hypothetical battle between Goku, Superman, and the Flash is a matter of speculation. See, this is why you can't trust ChatGPT. This is why you can't trust ChatGPT. It's just wrong. Goku would definitely win. Okay. What I want it to do, let me go grab 4. What I want it to do is consider the following script. Web scraping script. It's the shift enter that lets you break lines like that. And so I'm saying consider the following script. Update the username and password to use the values declared in a sibling env file. So we'll go over to that template. Here's the template. To use the values and declared in username, repurpose username and repurpose password. This is not a video about GPT. This is a programming video. We just happen to be using GPT. Okay, you need to grab .env. Thank you, thank you. Wakas just says Java. Interesting take there, Wakas. Thanks for being here, y'all. Okay, so this is the key right here. It's those 2 lines. So we go over here, Control V, Control S. Cool, cool, cool. scroll to the top, and I don't have .env configured, so I'm also going to, I can just grab the whole thing. It's really only going to change, I think, one more line, but it's worth it to do this because basically ChatGPT has some stochasm, some noise, some variation in its responses. And it's interesting to see if it does alter those things. Like if it went down here and like altered the eval form, it would just be interesting to see what it did, whether or not I accepted the change. Okay, so that is what I expected. Basically configure.env and then grab it like that. Great. npm install.env. We're going to yarn it, but still the same idea, yarn add.env. Alex says boring. Thanks, Alex. Cool. So here we are going to feat use mvar. That's basically the feature. So let's run it. Yarn start. Are you using Eclipse? Nope, this is VS Code. What are we doing? We are scraping repurpose.io so that we can get social media input data. Here's the social data. Let's take a look. Bam, there are these scraped URLs. We have liftoff, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So this is going really well, but this is not really what I want. But this is a great step. So these three URLs, these first three URLs should be a single row. Are you using GPT for debugging or writing code? We're using it to write code. Basically, things that I know how to do, and I could like Google around. Like I can't remember the literal syntax, but I can remember. Yeah, if I can't remember the literal syntax, it can just write it for me. That's the idea. Otherwise, I could look it up, but it would just take me longer. Okay, please. I'm not going to say please. That's just a waste of tokens. Update the scraper such that TikTok URL is its own column and YouTube URL is its own column. Within each TR, we only want to write a single URL for each platform. Into the CSV. We also want columns for published at and is it possible to make your own auto scroll feature for TikTok? Everything is possible in programming, my friend. Have you seen The Matrix? I want you to think of Morpheus telling Neo that he can just bend the spoon with his fucking brain. That's programming. You can do whatever you want. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is how much time and effort it will take to do it. You can literally do anything in virtual space. TikTok description, which takes a value, which scrapes its value from the Cool. Do y'all see what we're doing? What is this website? Which website are you talking about? I mean, in front of us is ChatGPT. Walter White, is that the real Walter White? What's up, Walter White? You fictional character, you. Is this vanilla JS? Yeah, we're writing vanilla JavaScript. Is this Node.js? Yes, that is correct. That answer applies to anything in life. Big if true. Big if true. No, I am Heisenberg to you. Oh, that's funny. Good job. You get a point for that. Someone give that guy a banana. What are you doing? We are building a social platform that helps me detect whether my TikTok video is red, yellow, or green. If it's green, that means it does well on TikTok, Insta, YouTube, everywhere. All social media channels, it's doing well. Yellow means it went viral somewhere, but it's inconsistent. So maybe it's doing well on TikTok, but not doing well on another platform. And red means everyone hates it. This is terrible content. And we want to do this so that we can assure that the social media input data for an AI that we are training, we want to make sure it's trained on high quality data only, because AI training is a garbage in, garbage out proposition. Which AI do you use for this? GPT-4. I'm going to eat an Oreo real quick. All right, let's try it. Let's see if this works. Now, notice that I just naively copied it and saved it, but I'm also going to go over the diff and review what it changed. So basically, it changed the eval statement. Okay, so previously, it was just grabbing all of the href. And now, it is looking for the TikTok.com substring, YouTube.com substring. See, this one is going to be wrong. That is not how we find published at, but the TikTok description is correct. And then we end up yielding this data. Great. So published at is the only thing I expect will be wrong, but that's okay. I can easily tweak it. So here is the published at. And this says published date time 2. I want to make sure that they all use that nomenclature. Document.query selector all. And yeah, I only get one result when I do that. Thank you for all the follows. Eric says, what is this? We're writing a scraper. Are you self-taught or did you go to college? The answer is both. So I went to college. In fact, I went to master's and PhD for economics. And I taught myself to code. I don't have a CS degree. My programs did not teach me to code. But I'm also like very highly educated. So this is published date time 2. How strange. And this is published date time 0. Oh, okay, it's an index problem. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, so we can yank out the row number. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, I actually want to collect the index as well. One, two, three, four. 5th column, which is called repurpose ID. This ID, how can I make it easy for the thing to figure out the ID? Let me see if I can find any attribute in the DOM tree that identifies the ID. Yeah, no. Okay, so this looks like the key to it all. Publish date time. Each TR has an interior paragraph element with a class name like if you split this class name by on the underscore, the last element in the result is the repurpose ID. Let's see if it can figure that out. I'll just give it one thing at a time. He's still learning, I think, but he's good. Thanks. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years, but thanks. XPath. We're not doing XPath today. That would be brutal. Would you have to rewrite your scraper if the application changed its structure? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. That's why I resisted doing DOM parsing. It was the third of 3 options, but the problem is the other 2 options were not feasible, right? So we tried to use an API approach. Repurpose .io API. We tried to use an API approach. Just couldn't figure it out, basically. And what was the other one? We looked, and the other was we tried just dumping it into GPT and have the LLM parsing it, but there were too many tokens. There were too many tokens, so it got overflowed and it couldn't work. Yeah. I'm not seeing any APIs or SDKs. There might be a like a Zapier or something. I don't know. Knowing you're a good dev is when you know nothing. Basically, be Jon Snow. All right, Brendan the Wise. W in the chat for Brendan. Remember, ChatGPT is not reliable. It can't see past a certain year. Yeah, that's true. Everything ChatGPT does, I'm reviewing. And why not use GPT-4? I am using GPT-4. But yeah, I'm definitely reviewing everything ChatGPT does. Hey, what are you coding? Basically a Puppeteer web scraper at the moment. Okay, so these changes were good. Let's go ahead and stage those. And the feature here is more CSV data, more CSV columns. Okay, so we're gonna commit that and clear our git diff. So now when I paste the new script, I'll be able to isolate those differences compared to what's currently there. So we copy the code, Control A, Control V, Control S, click, see the diff, and we can see these are the only line changes. So it added the ID I asked it to, looks good to me. We got the camel case going on, I love it. And it is parsing, and this was the syntax that I wanted it to figure out, and I didn't want to have to Google and figure this out. So this is an attribute selector syntax where the attribute name begins with some substring. And then it is popping the last index just like I told it to. It went for a ternary. I don't think that's necessary, but like I'm not mad. It's just kind of unnecessary. Okay, so let's run it. It looks correct. What language is this? JavaScript. This is JavaScript. Can I ask, what is this good for in human language? The answer is, if you are a content creator, you want to make better content. And this data will tell you whether the content that you are making is good or not. That's the purpose. Okay, so we have this CSV. It's got all of this stuff. TikTok URL, YouTube URL. None of them have YouTube URLs. Look at that. So there's a bunch of stuff missing. None of these have repurpose IDs. That's a bummer. All right, let's drop a breakpoint in there. Since I'm in JavaScript now, I'm going to use the debugger keyword. Definitely just lost my terminal. What just happened? I'm going to trash this terminal, open a new one, new terminal, red, yellow, green, cd rep tab, enter, yarn start. How did you learn coding? Originally, I used Codecademy. Okay, so the debugger hooked, but it's just like paused over here, so that's kind of bad. I'm going to Control C. Oh, it might just be my computer being slow, actually, is what might be going on. Yo, bummer. Is this just lagging out? Okay. Looks like I trashed it successfully. So instead of doing that, I'm going to use the VS Code run and debug. Out of these options, I want one of the red, yellow, green, but it's not entirely clear. So I'm actually going to pick none of them. And I'm going to go to the package.json itself and use this debug button. And you can see the orange at the bottom indicates that it is using a debug wrapper. It's not Express, it looks vanilla. Yeah, this is vanilla. This is vanilla. Fascinating what people can do with a computer. Totally agree. Okay, so the debugger, look at that. It dropped. Oh, you know what? That's because I'm dropping a debugger inside of the Puppeteer context, which is like a different browser. Probably a log statement is going to do better. I could also debug out here, but that wouldn't be too helpful. So if I log, what do I want to log here? I can just say like raw tr. Let's see what that does. I suggest Python. We had to bail on Python. So Python doesn't make too much sense in this repository. So Python doesn't make sense here. Beautiful Soup doesn't work because we need a stateful client. If we use a stateful client, like for example, Playwright for Python, we're going to have to embed JavaScript inside of the stateful client, which also doesn't make sense. So here we keep it all one language, and it's consistent with the rest of the repository, which is all JavaScript, TypeScript anyway. Oh, talking to Carl. Okay, my bad. Chat popping off. I love it. That did not log, did it? That did not log. I think it's because it's inside of this page eval. So I can do foo. It doesn't really matter. Like I'm going to delete all of this as soon as my troubleshooting is done, so it doesn't matter. Equals, or like let's do foo.append, right? And then I can console.log foo, and I wrap it in the braces so that it will give me the key name, basically. Waiting for debugger to disconnect. Foo is not defined. Oh, I didn't, sorry. I need to say const. What are you working on? We are making a web scraper, social media web scraper. Hey, quick reminder, you can go over to YouTube or Twitch, link in my bio, and see the full screen. Foo is still not defined, it says, because we define it in this context and it's not in this other context. Bummer, bummer, bummer. If I do the old school var, I'm not sure if that's going to work either. This page eval might be like in a remote browser. That could be the issue we're seeing. Yeah. Okay, well, here's another thing I can do is just put the raw TR over here. This is going to be really loud, but oh well. Let me do this. Yeah. That way I can just pick out the piece that I care about instead of it just screaming logs at me. Okay, so here we are. Let me go to my debug console. So here's data, okay? Let's just look at like the first one and the raw TR on that. It's empty. That doesn't make sense, does it? Okay, so this is like by ref basically. So when the session expires, it evaporates. That's really brutal. That is brutal, man. Dang. Maybe we can do this. Illegal continue statement. Published at. I'm not really sure why it paused here, but I'm not necessarily mad because I kind of want to know this anyway. Published at is not defined. Is TR defined? TR is not defined. Yeah, I don't know why that yellow thing is showing right there. Install NodeMon so you don't have to run every time. Nah. I already have a dev server. This is not a dev server issue. And if I wanted a dev server, it wouldn't be NodeMon. Okay, so what did we decide? We decided that I had to change the inner HTML there. So let's try it again. It's already running. Okay, well, we can stop it. That's fine. Is it a policy issue? No, it's literally, it just evaporates. So the $$ eval, page $$ eval is a remote browser. And when data gets returned, the remote browser closes. And because these TR are by ref, when that browser closes, they evaporate. They're literally a null reference at that point. So what I'm trying to do now is grab their text, which is a primitive, which should not be transferred by ref. Okay, so now I have data again, right? Let's get the first data, and let's look at the raw TR. Okay, so you can see this time it was stringified, so it persists. It is a really ugly string, though, and yikes, what is all this? I mean, I did ask for like all of it, so I guess you get what you ask for, don't you? I found the rudest people have the least ability to learn. Yeah, I mean, that's facts, isn't it? Oh, here's an interesting. Wow, this is interesting. Moment UTC. So they're using jQuery to. Oh, that's why I couldn't parse it. Look, 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 look. Look at what I've highlighted in the orange. The reason that my scraper could not grab the published at is because the published at is being dynamically calculated and written. Okay. TR is not defined. Right. I need to parse this fragment. Can I just say document? Just make a new document. Document is not defined. What is it? It's what is the syntax to parse a DOM fragment from text? You're pretty damn good, my guy. Thank you so much. No, I don't want to use JS DOM. Dude, no. Stop generating. I can do this in vanilla JavaScript. What is the browser syntax for that? DOM parser. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. Love it. Live coding is so satisfying. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to call this DOM parser. DOM parser is new DOM parser. Cool. DOM parser is not defined. Because I'm not in a browser anymore. Dang it. GPT was right again. That little jerk. Sorry, you were right. I am not in a browser after all. No problem at all. Look at that. Is GPT helpful for coding? Yes, it is. You said DOM darser. Did I really? No, I said DOM parser. It doesn't matter what I call the variable name. I mean, that was stupid, I agree, but like this doesn't exist is still the root problem. Okay, let me take a drink of water real quick. Hey, I have a Discord too if you want to hop in there, join the community, hang out. It'll be good to talk to y'all. Like after the stream, I can just kind of catch up with y'all. I do not have JSDOM installed. Bummer, bummer. I can install it if I need to. What am I trying to get out of this? Oh, here's another good question. is there a, you know what? I can totally just take this script TRs. I can totally just take this script and drop it in my actual browser right here. This is one of the beautiful things about using JavaScript as a scraper instead of Python, is I can just drop it right here. So I can say document.querySelector all tr, map it out like that. Oh, unexpected token. Where? Return, paren. Why is that unexpected? So here's my TRs. Oh. A bunch of them have this item thing and a bunch don't. Is there a difference there? Even, odd, even, odd. What about you guys? What? Where are these things coming from? There's a bunch of virtual ones, basically. Oh, gross. I don't want these. Okay, so I want the press items. I want the press items only. tr.pressItem. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do, bro. Press item. tr.pressItem. All right, well, that's a good discovery, I guess. Document.querySelectorAll.pressItem. Now I only got 25. That's what I expected. What is the purpose of this script? To get the TikTok video and the YouTube video, the publish date, and the text, and generate a CSV out of that. And then it can go through my, my like thousands of videos and collect them all. Okay, dot map. We just say L to L. Dot map is not a function because you need to be array transformed. Cool. Now we're good. Now you are array transformed. And now I can do what I was trying to do earlier. Control X, Control Z, click, minimize, Shift home, left, V. Bingo. I win. I win. I win. Shouldn't it be easier to use jQuery? Nah, not at all. Okay, so published at is the bummer here. So what's wrong with my published at? Oh, actually, I don't expect published at to work right now. The paragraph, let's grab the paragraph. I think the paragraph is what's failing me. I'm going to click, drag, and paste over it. And you can see the only difference, Control Z, Control Shift Z, Control Y, is that I added this paragraph right there. So now I can see the paragraph. And the paragraph is null. Okay, so the problem is we're selecting the paragraph incorrectly, which makes sense. And then if you don't have the paragraph, of course, you cannot parse out the ID, right? Oh, we got Russian in the chat. I don't know what that says. Somebody translate it. That would be great. So What is wrong with, so here's an example of the published date time. Published date time. And now let's look at our code here, published date time, Control V, comment. So something is wrong here. I mean, one thing I can just do, like while I'm looking at this and while I'm thinking, we'll just go see if ChatGPT can fix it. I think the class selector on the paragraph like is incorrect. I keep getting a null result. Let's see if it says my apologies. Begins with a specified string. All right, so it's doubling down. It's saying, hey, like, that's what it do, boy. So we're doing a paragraph. All right, let's look at this code. We're doing a paragraph with a class that starts with this. A paragraph, it is, with a class, published date time, published date time. Right, so the only issue would be, yeah, that the class name doesn't start like that. It just includes it as a substring. Do I use the tilde in that case? Let me clear, arrow up, switch the syntax to a tilde. Nope. Prompt engineering, kind of. It will give you JSON format. You working with MVC? Yeah, this is a Laravel app. You can use the official TikTok API. That will not give me what I want. Oh, it's the asterisk. Okay, thanks, buddy. Cool. So it's not a tilde, it is an asterisk. That's right. See, it just saved me another, I would have to Google to remember. Just saved me that. There it is, found it. Cool. So let's change that. I can drop this comment now. The paragraph does not need to be returned, neither does the raw TR. Okay. I can disconnect my debugger, drop this, basically clean it up, and we are ready to run it again. Go over to the terminal, arrow up, yarn, run, start. Bro, you solve bugs so fast. Y'all are so nice. Literally like 90% of y'all are so nice. Debugger attached. Oops, I didn't mean to run the debugger. That was my bad. Let me drop this console. I just want to run the normal script. Why are you scraping TikTok? I'm not. I'm scraping repurpose.io. So you see up in the top, that's repurpose.io. That's not TikTok. Hey, you can see the link in my bio to get to the YouTube or Twitch channel, and you'll be able to see the whole screen. And so you can see the URL and stuff. What kind of keyboard is that? It is it's a Razer. You just get it at Best Buy. Bro is the YouTube tutorial. That's awesome. You rock. What, oh, that's the same question. What are you making? You're using the TikTok API. I am not using the TikTok API. I am making a social media quality platform. It's called Red, Green, Blue. Open source right here. GitHub, Vanderveer, Red, Yellow, Green. Oh, sorry, not Red, Green, Blue. It's called Red, Yellow, Green, like a traffic light. Right, like a traffic light. And basically it helps me figure out what of my social media content is high quality versus not. Okay, so let's see what the, looks like the script works. Let's see what it output. And so now, I'm getting the IDs 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So we're scraping the IDs properly. Cool. Let me get an extension so I can like actually look at the CSV better. Rainbow CSV is chill, but I want to see like the table. Should I not look at the table? These are like highly rated, right? Are you using Puppeteer? Yeah, I'm using Puppeteer. I could like push it all the way into the Prisma and then use the Prisma browser, but that feels like I just want to like look at it real quick. Can I just look at it? Just look at it. We'll do Rainbow CSV. Can't go wrong. It's solid. Solid stuff. This does not give me a table format, but it still makes it like pretty clear which columns are missed and not. So TikTok URL is white, so that's good. YouTube URL, you see we're missing it on some. But you know what? On second thought, I think it's still correct because it's not guaranteed to exist. Published at is also appropriately nullish. Yeah. So this is actually everything I want. So let's just go confirm. This one where it is blank right here was simply never sent to YouTube. So this is hashtag lol memes. Lol memes, bro. So I'm going to go to my browser, Control F, Control V. We got lol memes. And you can see actually when it tried to send it over to YouTube, it errored. Let me see if I can send it over to YouTube now. Cool. So it looks like it works basically. Now we need to fix the published at. Now we need to fix the published at. So here's the paragraph. Okay, so we got this paragraph. And what if I do this? It's kind of okay, I guess. This is actually super useful if the user can upload their video to see if it is viable before post. Bingo! Benji gets it. Benji gets it. Okay. So, I think it's fine, even with the pipe there. Like, why did they format it like that? That's bad formatting, right? Whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna accept it like this. So that means the published at goes down here. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to delete the social data, generate it one more time. Okay, what just happened? I deleted package JSON. And that's how I got fired. I'm going to generate it one more time just to make sure it still works after those most recent changes. So this works. What I need to do next is I need it to find this page button. Because I need it to navigate pages. Okay, so here is fix repurpose or fix publish at. All right, cool. So we're going to start over, Control A, Control C. Going to start over on ChatGPT, delete this. We're going to kind of like reset the conversation, if you will. And I'm going to use the 3.5 model because I think page navigation is fairly trivial. Consider the script below. Just say ACK for now. The web scraping script below, just say ACK for now. And it ACKed it really quick. So we get that into its contextual memory. And now I'll say the page to be, I would like to scrape a collection of pages beginning with page 1 where the user lands after login. Page navigation is declared inside of ul.pagination. The active page number is identifiable as document.querySelector ul pagination li.active span query selector identifiable in string form as for page I, if page I plus 1 exists, click the non-active span, non-active pagination span for that. Click the non-active pagination span for that I plus 1 text in order to navigate forward one page. For now, update the script to assume there are 5 pages. Pagination not in the URL. You know what? That's a great point, Zoe. That is a great point. Looks like pagination is in the URL. Yeah, that's a much more straightforward way of doing this, isn't it? I am still questioning the termination criteria, though, Zoe, because if I assume that there are 5 pages, what I can do next time is simply have it check whether 82 exists, and if it doesn't exist, that's the termination criteria. If I'm using the URL alone, how do I know whether it's the last page? Here, let's check. Let's click 81 and see if the URL gets any decoration indicating that it's the last page. And the answer is no, right? So I would love to drive it off the URL, but I don't know. I mean, I could just be eager. I could just look for 82 and then 404 and go, oh, okay, I'm all done. Actually, it's even worse because it doesn't 404. It just shows up with nothing there. So my script, I would need to add like checks to see like if it's empty, then you're done, basically. That would be fine. That would work. But I'm just going to use this DOM-driven approach that I'm using already. Updated script assumes that there are 5 pages and iterates through each, and then it makes a bunch of these. I think that's fine. Am I cool with having like 80 pages? Not really, not really. Instead of creating many different CSVs, create the CSV the first time around and then append to it for later pages. Can you use a while loop? You sure could. You sure could. That would be fine. Now, instead of assuming there are 5 pages, continue until, actually I think we're about to use a while loop. Continue until the next page, continue until there is no next page. Continue until there is no navigation span for the next page. Mode dark, please. I mean, whatever. Like I'm looking at dark text. If I flip the theme, is it going to be blasting white in my eyes? I'm cool with it as is. Although this website, they should have a dark theme over here, but I don't know that they do. But that would be good. Control A, Control V, Control S. All right, let's look at what it changed. Here comes the diff. Thank you for all the likes. We're over 4,000 now. Hey, quick reminder, you can go to YouTube or Twitch, link in my bio, and see the full screen. Please also follow the YouTube. That's where the playlist, the series is going to be saved. So this is part 2 of a series, and we're just getting started. Okay, so you can see we go there. We start out on the first page. This is a weird way to do that, in my opinion, but whatever. So we create it. And, oh, okay. Well, no, now it makes sense because it's still using a different CSV writer entity. I would have just gone off the index on the current page, but it seems perfectly suitable either way. Navigate to the target page. That's pretty crazy that it somehow knows to use the page URL. Golly. Write the data into the CSV file. Yeah, the only issue I have is that I want a log message indicating the current page. Cool. Rel prev. Here is, what is this? li rel next. Oh, there's a next? That's better, right? And then it's just gone. Or it's not gone, but it's disabled. Cool. I think that's less wonky than this sort of like index tracking approach. What do y'all think? That was some kind of cool sound. I don't know what that came from. Thanks for all the follows, y'all. If has next page. Okay, so it's doing that. There's a Chrome extension called Selector Gadget. That's great. Good tip. Okay, await page.click. This works. What I want it to do is give me a progress that indicates the last, I want progress indication. I want to update this script to include a progress log message. Please, on each iteration, please log the current page number being scraped, and then declare that it is out of in pages, where in is the total number of pages to be scraped. You can identify in because it is the span before. You can identify in because it is the text in the span before, because it is always, let's see if it gets this right. Wow, the formatting got really screwed up there, didn't it? Okay, let's see if it works. Nope, that did not work. Here it says scraping current page out of total pages. Total pages is previous element sibling. Let's see if that works. Previous element sibling, it says. Yeah, it will not work. Yeah. So here we go. Previous element sibling doesn't work because is nested inside an LI. Please traverse up to the parent LI, the nearest ancestor. Please traverse up to the nearest ancestor LI before getting the span text. Why use Yarn instead of Node.js? Node.js is not a package manager. Control A, V, S. I'm going to go down here and say continue. Yeah, instead of NPM, you mean? I don't know. I had reasons and like now I can't remember them. Sorry. I think for most purposes, either one will work just fine. If you're like asking if your life's going to end if you use NPM instead of Yarn, no, I think you should be fine. NPM did get like, I don't know if hacked is the right word, but they kind of got hacked back in the day. But I don't know that that was like necessarily the key reason for my concern. Something goofy going on with the formatting here. Has next page. Looks good. Okay, so this bit is what I need. Cool. Reformatted just fine. Let's look at the diff here. There's a big diff. I think I probably need to commit. Yeah. How can I add a, okay, please add a random pause for 2 to 6 seconds between each page. Are you making a scraper with ChatGPT? Yes. Use GitHub Copilot. I'm using both of them. Both of them, yo. Using Copilot right now. Okay, Yarn start. Let's see if it works. Jordan says, I want to learn, bro. You can do it. I believe in you. Is it GPT-4 since GPT-3 can't fully understand Next 13? I am using GPT-4. But it doesn't matter that it doesn't understand Next13 because the code I'm writing is not Next.js. How do you know how to get a full script without cut with ChatGPT? I don't know what you mean. What do you mean cut? Y'all can totally learn. It just takes some hard work and time and patience. You can do it. Cannot read properties of null inner text on 8231. Okay. Let's see. Control C, Control F, Control V. Okay, so this is, yeah. This is not working. There's that sound again. What does that mean? It stops writing me the code. Tell it to continue. Tell it the word continue. How can I get a full course for free? Hey, Jordan, I mean, I'll tell you the answer, but y'all need to remember that you get what you pay for. So if you're looking at free courses only, that's not the best return on investment. That's not the best education. And you might be making it harder on yourself by trying to pinch pennies. But yeah, Free Code Camp. Free Code Camp is one of the best free ones. You can also see my course. If you go to latterly.io, there's a free version. But the free version is not what I recommend. It's not as good as the paid version. I ask him continue, but he restarts a new code. I mean, we're going to have to like look at specifically your problem. This is Pyroclash. Yeah, I don't want to get over 200 people focused on your particular issue, but you can book a free consult with me in my bio. Do I have a course on Udemy? No, I don't. I have a course in my bio, though. Hey, quick reminder, you can go over to YouTube or Twitch. Links are in my bio, and you can see the full screen. Okay, so sometimes this is null. Next page link. What is it doing here? This is some goofy logic. Okay. Query selector next. I think I can just do this. I think I can just do this. If I'm not mistaken. So let's try it. Oh, that will give me, you know what? I'm sorry, I screwed that up. That will give me the chevron thing. Okay, so yeah, what is the issue? Span element.enter text. What is the issue with this? Cannot read properties of null. Okay. Because it's using closest, is that the issue? Next page link I should have. Right? We got that. Now what if I do closest li? Did that work? Oh, it gets the wrong li if I do that. Okay, what do I just say parent instead? Parent element. Parent element. And now if I do previous element sibling. And now if I do enter text. Yep, that's what I want. Okay, so next page link. Let's do this. There you go. Free code, why not using TypeScript? I could implement types here, but like, what is it gaining me? Yeah, I just don't see what it's gaining me is the answer. The whole application will be using TypeScript, but specifically this scraper, I just don't see the value. Maybe I'm missing it. Scraping page 1 out of 81. Oh, navigation timeout of 30,000 milliseconds exceeded. Bummer. What happened? Why does that line wait through timeout? It is generally recommended to not wait for a number of seconds, but instead use wait for selector, XPath, or function to wait for exactly the conditions you want. Actually, I do want to wait for time in this case. Yeah, so why is it? At least you got the pages back. Do you have any web scraping scripts or tools? Yeah, check my GitHub. I have a few. Why are you using Puppeteer over HTTP requests? So that I can log in. I need a stateful client that can hold Laravel session in the request headers. Yeah, why did it take over 30 seconds? Look at that. Over 30,000 milliseconds exceeded. So it's taking over 30 seconds. Why? Okay, so we await the page. We get the data. Write the records. We got the number of pages, we logged it, and that log worked, right? So we got the log message that we wanted. Now check if there is a next page. Check if there's a next page, and definitely on the first page there should be. All right, I think we're gonna get banned by a rate limiter, but let's try it. Just taking out the pause, basically. So it's getting that first page while it has next page. Oh, okay. I'm going to move the pause to before we click the next button. Let me also move the so here we're going to say done scraping page X out of Y. All right, we're failing out again. And we're just scraping this like blank page. That's so weird. Oh, you know what? It could just be taking more time. Is that what it is? Has next page true? All right. Does it say the page number? Yeah, it's saying the page number. Has next page true? I think we need another waiting until the network is stable. It says wait for navigation, wait until network idles 0. Yeah, we don't really need to click it anymore, do we? We don't really need to click it anymore. So let me comment all of this. But let me grab the wait for navigation, wait until network idle 0, and put that at the top. Does goTo take an argument, a wait until argument? Let's ask GPT. Can I merge these two statements? And it is saying that there is this this wait until on it. So let's collapse them. That would seem to be better. Thank you for the likes. Oh, we're almost at 5,000 likes. That's pretty sick. Yeah, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking, babes. Scrape it, scrape it. How many pages before they ban me? I bet I can get 10. I bet I can get 10. Let me kill it, actually. I want to enable caching so that if I do fail out on page 7, I can pick up on page 8 instead of rerunning those page 7. So let me commit this where I'm at. Oh no, it's all blank. It's all blank. So what do I want to do? Let me still commit this and then we'll do a fix commit. So this is going to be feet, page navigation. Okay, so we have this script. Do a new chat. We'll go GPT 3.5 for now. It seems to be working fine. Maybe if you go to the next page, the class IDs differ a little. Could be. Could be. Let's check it out. So I'll go to page 3. We're still PR. We're still TR press item. Now, there could definitely be an issue if anywhere it is assuming that the first one has a ID of 0. That would be deadly. Oh, you know what? I lied. I thought those IDs would keep going, but apparently not. Wow. Okay. All right, y'all. I think that does it for today because this is getting to be a long stream, but it looks like instead of starting at 1 and going forward, what would I need to do? I would need to start at the end and go backward so that I can preserve the IDs because I'll be adding TikToks. Like say I make 10 new TikToks, right? And it's going to push them to this like a queue in a stack, right? So it's going to push them to this first page, which is going to shift all of my IDs over 10, and I don't want that. So I need to start at the last page and work backwards until I get to page 1. Let me just explain that to GPT and see if it can get my point. There's actually two problems. The other problem, there's actually a few problems. Another problem is that I want it to wait. I want it to wait until it can see things on the DOM. I want it to wait until it can see the DOM. So let me clear the network and look at the network traffic. And I think the network traffic sort of settles before the DOM is actually ready. Oh, I can listen for jQuery DOM ready. No, definitely the DOM is ready when this thing settles. So why is it not scraping? Still got the TikTok.com in the ahref. ahref includes TikTok.com. Oh, something is wrong with my, something is wrong with my create CSV writer. Oh, look, the headers are all goofed. That's what it is. Okay. That's what it is. Paste that. If this works, we're going to ask it to dry it up a bit. Okay, so let me yarn start, and let me just get to the third page or so, just to prove that the pend is working. Can I watch this bad boy in real time? So we scraped one page. Oh, wow, there's like a giant block of space. Do 10. Why is there that humongous block of space? Yeah, and then the ID is reset to 0 again. Okay, so let's ask GPT-4, consider the following web scraper script. For now, just say ACK. On the second, in the CSV between the first and second page row output, there are many blank lines. Do you know why? The blank lines may be caused by the way the script handles pagination and appending to the CSV file. All right, we'll give it a try. Oh, it's literally just like, after you're done, you can remove the lines. All right, yeah, that's fine. That works. I like how that's like exactly what I would do as a 1 year, as a 1 year programmer, basically. This is all within main, right? The browser close is also within main. Browser close is also within main. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this after that. Okay, cool. So that's one thing that I wanted it to do. Let me restart the convo. I'm trying to keep the thing having like a fresh brain, basically. Consider the following web scraping script. Just say ACK for now. Cool. Update the script to write the current page number and scrape at time now to their own CSV columns. Okay, so we can try this, but it's totally going to work. Cool. So we got 10 pages in. Do you think it's because it is a CSV file? What happens if it is raw text? I don't think that's the reason, although I could be wrong. So it's just the one, which makes me think that it is what GPT speculated. Because look, it's not like it happens over and over again. It just happens on that first page, which makes me think that it is. And is it 25 lines? No, it's like 100 lines, which I don't really understand. Not sure. All right, cool. So we get rid of those lines. What else do we do? Write the scrape data into the CSV file. Yep. I could cut 10 lines by extracting the headers. It's just getting a little verbose for my taste, but it's not really a big deal. I could extract the page evaluator, this function 72 to 92. I could extract that to its own file, which would shrink this down a bit. That could be nice. So I could save 30 lines. I don't know if I'd get it under 100 though, would I? I think it's fine. Oh no, I screwed that up. Okay, what I wanted to do is update the script to implement CSV-based caching. Using an environment variable called ignore cache. If ignore cache is true, the script will behave as it currently does. If ignore cache is false, then the script will scan and find the last page that was already scraped. Then start scraping on that page or the page before it. On that page instead of page 1. Dr. Wilson, good to see you here. Cool. So here, we don't know the page. We don't know the page number. I'm doing research and I find formation in seconds. Doing it and my employer pays me good money. Cool. Congrats. Looking at this diff, we have the ignore cache implemented. Initial social data is here. Yep. Current page scraped at. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. This is looking good. Resuming scraping, it decided to add a log. I like that. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and commit the feature, feat, CSV caching, and 2 new calls. Okay, so now we will use yarn start, and we should see resuming. Nope, it just said done scraping. Just said done scraping. I expected it to say resuming. Is the Boolean inverted on? So ignore cache is true. Now this should evaluate to false. which means don't ignore cache. That is confusing, isn't it? So let's say use CSV cache. Or like use file cache in case I pivot over to JSON. Use cached start, let's say start from scrape cache. Okay, start from scrape cache. So this is called ignore cache. If not ignore cache. So let's call this use cache. Double negatives are confusing. Let's use an environment variable named instead of ignore cache, and a local variable named should resume instead of ignore cache. Why not use Visual Studio? Why VS Code? Oh, so many reasons. You get access to all the extensions. Hey, Sarah, thanks for the follow. I think the extensions is the big answer. Whoa, it really bombed here. Check that out. Oh no, that was me. Sorry. I thought the formatting was totally off. Extract the required information from each TR element. Yeah, here we are. Okay. So let's see what it changed this time. You can see start from scrape cache. All right, and start from scrape cache should resume. And it says, yeah, check the environment variable and make sure that the file exists. Smart, very smart. Okay, and then if should resume, and so it's not if not ignore cache, which is a double negative, which is kind of confusing. Are you using GPT Pro? I have access, but like what I did just in front of you is using the 3.5. So I use 3.5 if I think that it's a simple coding case that it can use and it will be fast and it will spit out the value fast and it will not use my limited number of runs of the expensive model. And then I pick the expensive model if I think I'm dealing with trickier logic or for polishing cases where the thing is pretty much ready and I want it to kind of like do a peer review, basically. Good question. Okay, so here we have ignore cache, so I'll stage that. Initial social data. So let me take these two, initial social data and social data. Let me delete them. Cool. So what do I want to do now? I want to demonstrate the resume feature. I also want it to I also wanted to use, so there's an issue where like if I break halfway through a page, and then if I resume on that page, there will be duplicate records, right? Alternatively, if I break halfway through a page and I resume on the next page, there will be skipped records. Neither of these is good. So the solution is to re-scrape the same page and deduplicate the records. To do that, I need a reliable UUID, which I currently don't have because we noticed that the UUID resets like on every page, basically. So how do I solve this? The way I solve this is that I get a different UUID, basically. So the timestamp could serve as a UUID because I do not have any two videos that are simultaneously published. So I could use the timestamp. Oh, look at that. I can just use the TikTok ID, it seems. Yeah. I like that more. Okay, so the TikTok URL is the ID. The TikTok URL is the ID. I like that more. Repurpose ID. So we don't need this repurpose ID at all, actually. Okay, so we're going to remove the repurpose ID. Suppose my web scraping is interrupted. See, this is a problem. This is a problem where I really want to ask GPT-4 at this point, but we'll see what this one does. Suppose my web scraping is interrupted. If I resume on page N, there will be some duplicate records added to the CSV. True or false? Okay, if your web scraping is interrupted and you resume on page N, there is a possibility of duplicate records being added to the CSV file depending on how the data is structured and how the scraping is implemented. In the provided script, you will resume scraping from page N, and the script is appending data to the CSV file. It will record records from page N onwards, including any records that were previously scraped on page N. To avoid duplicate records, you can implement a check to skip adding records that are already present in the CSV file. This can be done by comparing the data scraped from each page with the existing data in the CSV file and excluding duplicates. That's correct. So how do you check the duplicates? It's parsing the int of the last record of 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last scrape page, okay. Continue. Filter out duplicates by comparing with the existing data. Should be unique should be unique, so we can have a simpler duplicate check that only uses this value. Also, please remove from the script. Cool, and we're getting near the end of the stream, y'all. Thanks for being here. As a reminder, this is the second part of a YouTube series, so head over to YouTube and follow me there so you don't miss out. The link is in my TikTok bio. It's also the same username, John Vandeveer, over on YouTube. Okay, so let's see what changes we have this time. We have that start from scrape that I like. We removed repurpose ID. Should resume, that's great. Last scraped page, the index changed because we changed because we removed repurpose ID. So this is all very good. Current pages. Current page was removed. Interesting. Got rid of the repurpose ID as well there. Filter out duplicates based on TikTok URL. Okay. Record index self. Record index self. Cool. Yeah, I typically would not have used that self argument, but it looks good to me. I would have parsed out by column. I would have parsed out by column the TikTok thing specifically. Which I think my way is arguably more precise because there's goofy conditions such as you could have a TikTok URL in the TikTok description of another video. But that's like so obscure, I should never actually expect it to happen in the real world. So this seems to be fine. Okay, so now we just run the script. Do you have tutorials? I do. Follow the YouTube channel. You can also go to my bio, and I have a course, latterly.io. You can also check out my TikToks. Current page is not defined. Okay, so we got to bring that current page back. So tutorials all over the place, and then I also do one-on-one tutoring if that's helpful for you. Okay, now we got that current page back. Let's try this again. Thanks, much appreciated. Hey, very, very welcome. Glad to see you here. Thanks so much for being here. Oh, I thought we were going to get to 5,000 likes today. We got 4.6. Oh, well. It rounds, doesn't it? Wow, 3.5 hours of streaming today. This was a great one. So glad y'all could join me. Okay, cool. So I killed it, and I'm trying to, let me trash it. I tried to trash it in the middle of a row. I don't know if that worked. And so now let's see if it resumes properly. I want it to say resuming. I should also make sure to include this. Start from cache, we want to default that to true. Oh no, Control S is failing. What's going on? Okay. Cannot access current page before initialization. Hey. Oh, okay. Did you hit it? Did you hit it? You want to play drums?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, y'all. That's going to do it for today's stream because Ellie wants to play drums. It's going to get loud. But you get the idea. Basically, I'm going to make that error go away and then push it, and that'll be it for today. Thanks for joining. Tune in next time, and we'll put this data in the database and start using it. See you later.